I'm standing on that stage, diploma trembling in my hands, and I'm scanning the crowd for her face. My mom. After 4 years of all-nighters, scholarship applications, and clawing my way to summa cum laude, all I want is to see her proud of me. Just once. I spot them, my family, 5th row, center. But Mom's not looking at the stage. Her eyes are locked on my brother Rhett, slouched in his seat, scrolling through his phone like he'd rather be anywhere else. I walk down those steps, my heart hammering, arms already opening for the hug I've rehearsed in my head 1,000 times. I'm 3 feet away when she moves. She walks right past me. Not a glance. Not a pause. Nothing. She rushes to Rhett, wrapping him in this tearful embrace, her voice carrying over the crowd. I'm so proud of you for showing up today, sweetheart. I'm frozen there, arms still half raised like an idiot, while families flow around me like I'm a rock in a stream. My best friend Marin sees everything. Her face twists with fury that I can't let myself feel yet. Dad gives me this awkward side hug, mutters congrats, and follows Mom. That's when I decide. I'm done being invisible. The car ride to lunch is torture. I'm in the back seat, always the back seat, while Mom won't shut up about Rhett's possible promotion at his mediocre sales job. They're really recognizing his people skills, she gushes. He might make assistant manager. 4 years of academic awards. Campus leadership positions. A full-ride scholarship. I graduated top of my class 2 hours ago, and she hasn't mentioned it once. Mom. I finally interrupt, my voice tight. I graduated summa cum laude. That's top 3%. She waves her hand dismissively. Well, honey, you've always been good at school. That's just what you do. But Rhett, he's really working hard in the real world now. The casual dismissal lands like a slap. Dad changes the subject to football. Rhett smirks at his phone in the front seat, probably texting his friends about how boring this is. I pull out my phone and open my email. There's a message from Harrison Beck, my late grandmother's estate attorney. The subject line reads, Trust activation. Action required. My fingers hover over the screen. Then I type back. I'm ready. Send me everything. Mom and Rhett have no idea what's coming. The restaurant is one of those upscale places with cloth napkins and a wine list. Mom invited the extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, and they're all here, fawning over Rhett like he's some returning hero. I'm at the end of the table.
Literally, the end.
Aunt Shira stands to make a toast to both graduates, but then spends 5 minutes praising Rhett's charisma and natural charm. I get 30 seconds. And Celeste, of course, with her lovely discipline and focus. Lovely discipline. Like I'm a well-trained dog. I excuse myself to the bathroom, and Marin follows immediately. You don't have to take this, she hisses, her eyes blazing. I splash cold water on my face, hands shaking. I'm not, I whisper. Just wait. My phone buzzes. Harrison's reply. Documents uploaded to secure portal. Trust balance. $2.3 million. Additional materials include comprehensive financial records of parental gifts to your brother over the past decade. Your grandmother's letters to family members are sealed and ready for delivery. Confirm to proceed. I look at myself in the mirror. At the girl who's been invisible her whole life. I type back. Proceed with everything, including the letters. Time to make them see me. Sitting back at that table, I let my mind drift through the memories I've tried so hard to bury. Rhett's always been the golden child. 3 years older, naturally athletic, effortlessly charming. When he got suspended for fighting in 10th grade, Mom called it standing up for himself. When I won the state debate championship that same year, she was too tired to come watch. He flunked out of community college.
Twice.
Dad paid for a 3rd attempt, then a 4th. I earned a full ride to a prestigious university. They shrugged and said, That's great, honey. Every Christmas, every birthday, Rhett got extravagant gifts. Gaming systems, concert tickets, a car for his 21st birthday. I got practical things.
Socks.
A desk lamp. Gift cards to office supply stores. But the worst memory? When Grandma Posey got sick, I spent every weekend at her house. Cooking, cleaning, just sitting with her. Rhett never visited. Not once. Yet Mom still praised his busy schedule. Grandma noticed everything. In her final month, she squeezed my hand and whispered, "I'm going to make sure you're taken care of, sweetheart. The people who see you deserve everything."
I didn't understand then.
Watching Rhett laugh at something Dad said, soaking up attention he didn't earn, I finally do. 2 hours later, I'm sitting in Harrison Beck's downtown office, and my whole world is shifting. He slides a folder across his mahogany desk. "Your grandmother established an irrevocable trust in your name 3 years ago. The full estate, $2.3 million in total assets, including property, investments, and liquid funds, transfers to you upon your college graduation." My hands shake as I open the folder. "She left your brother exactly $1, Harrison continues, his tone neutral, but his eyes sympathetic. Along with a note, "To my grandson, who couldn't find time to visit me once in my final year." I can't breathe.
Can't process this.
"There's more," Harrison says gently. "Your grandmother left letters for your parents and brother, explaining her decision. For her instructions, these were delivered by courier 1 hour ago." Oh God. She also documented every financial gift your parents gave Rhett over the past decade. He pulls out another file. Over $180,000 in direct payments, loans they never expected repayment on, and bailouts. You received less than $3,000 in that same period. Marin, sitting beside me, grabs my hand. My phone starts buzzing. Mom's name flashes on the screen. Then Dad. Then Rhett. A string of texts I don't have to read to know are furious. "You don't have to answer," Harrison says calmly. I silence my phone. I know. My phone doesn't stop. 12 missed calls from Mom in 20 minutes. Dad's left 4 voicemails. Rhett's texts are escalating from confusion to rage. "What the hell did you do? You manipulated a dying old woman. You're a selfish bitch. Everyone's going to know what you really are." I show Marin and she snatches my phone. "Don't you dare respond." "Not yet." Harrison explains that I have zero legal obligation to share anything. "Your grandmother was of sound mind. I have medical documentation proving her mental competency. This is airtight." "What about the financial records?" I ask. "The ones showing what they gave Rhett?" "Your grandmother was meticulous. She kept every receipt, every bank statement, every text message where your parents sent him money. She included it all in the letter to your parents." Something occurs to me. "Harrison, you said Grandma left letters for each of them. What did she write?" He permits himself a slight smile. "I'm not at liberty to discuss the contents, but I will say this. Your grandmother didn't mince words. She held them accountable for every dismissal, every moment of favoritism. She made sure they understood exactly why she made this choice. My grandmother, even from beyond the grave, saw me,
Protected me.
fought for me." The phone rings again.
Mom.
This time, I answer. "How could you?" Mom's voice is raw with tears and fury. "We need to meet.
Now.
You owe us an explanation." "I don't owe you anything," I say, surprised by how calm I sound. "But fine. Your house. 1 hour." When I walk through that front door, the scene is exactly what I expected. Mom's eyes are red and swollen. Dad's pacing like a caged animal. Rhett's slumped on the couch, glaring at me with pure hatred. She was losing her mind. Mom shouts before I'm fully inside. "You took advantage of a sick old woman." I set my bag down slowly. Grandma Posey was completely lucid. Harrison has medical records proving it. You'd know that if any of you had visited her. Mom flinches like I've struck her. "Where were you?" I continue, my voice steady. "Every Sunday for 2 years, I was there. Cooking her meals. Helping her bathe. Reading to her. Where the hell were all of you?" "We were busy," Dad starts. "Busy with what?" I pull out printed bank statements from my bag. "Thank you, Harrison." "Busy giving Rhett $180,000 over 10 years? Busy bailing him out every time he screwed up? busy making sure the golden child never had to face consequences. The room goes silent. Rhett lunges forward, and I don't even flinch. Touch me, and I call the police. Marin steps from behind me, phone raised, recording. Please do. I'd love to add assault to this story. He freezes. Mom switches tactics. The anger melts into tears, her voice going soft and wounded. Celeste, sweetheart, I know I haven't been perfect, but we're family. Family shares. Doesn't that mean something to you? Here it comes. The guilt trip. Rhett needs help getting on his feet. She continues, reaching for my hand. I pull away. You could change his life with just a fraction of that money. Don't you want to help your brother? I almost laugh. He's 30 years old, Mom. When does he start taking care of himself? Her face hardens instantly. The mask drops. You've always been jealous of him. There it is. I pull out my phone and open my voicemail archives. I've been saving these for years, not knowing why. Now I do. I play the first one from my freshman year. Celeste, stop being so dramatic about your exams. Some of us have real problems. Then another from junior year. Honey, can you send Rhett $500? He's short on rent again. You understand. Another. I can't talk right now. Rhett needs me to co-sign for something. I have 63 voicemails like this. I've counted. You've called me for Rhett's problems more than you've ever called to ask how I was doing. I say quietly. I have proof, Mom. Documented proof of every time you chose him over me. She has no response. The truth, time-stamped and undeniable, sits between us like a chasm neither of us can cross. Dad tries next. He's always been the peacekeeper, the avoider of conflict. Celeste, your grandmother would want us to stay together as a family. Don't let money divide us. I look at him, and I feel something like pity. Dad, this family divided itself a long time ago. Grandma Posey just made it official. I stand, slinging my bag over my shoulder. But before I leave, I need to say this. Here's what's going to happen. I'm keeping the inheritance. All of it. I'm paying off my student loans, starting my career, and building the life I've earned. If you want any relationship with me going forward, it starts with genuine apologies and real change. Not performative Instagram posts or fake therapy you quit after 2 sessions. Real work. Mom scoffs. So you're bribing us to love you? That's sick.
No, Mom.
I'm demanding basic respect. Something I should have had from birth. I turn toward the door, then pause. Oh, and Grandma left each of you personal letters too. They should be in the courier envelope. I point to the unopened package on the coffee table. Read them. Maybe then you'll understand why she did this. I walk out, leaving 3 sealed envelopes on that table, Grandma Posey's final words to the family who failed both of us. The door closes behind me, and for the first time in my life, I feel the weight lift. I'm free. For 3 days, I don't hear from anyone. The silence is both terrifying and liberating. Then Aunt Shira calls. She's my dad's older sister. Always kind, but never quite close enough to see the daily erosion of my self-worth. Celeste, she says, her voice shaking. I need to tell you something. Your mother showed me the letter your grandmother left them. My stomach drops. She didn't hold back, Shira continues. She wrote about every dismissal, every time they prioritized Rhett's comfort over your achievements, every moment they made you feel invisible. She told your mother she was ashamed to watch her son raise a daughter who felt like a ghost in her own home. I'm crying now, silently, gripping the phone. The letter to your father, Shira says softly, accused him of cowardice. She wrote that his silence was just as damaging as your mother's favoritism, that he had a duty to protect you, and he failed. What about Rhett's letter? I managed to ask. One line. You had every advantage and squandered it. Your sister had nothing and earned everything. Learn from her if you're capable. I'm laughing and crying at the same time. My grandmother, quiet, gentle Grandma Posey, went scorched earth for me. She loved you so much, Celeste, Shira whispers. We all failed you, but she made sure you'd be okay anyway. I know, I say. I know. 3 days after the family explosion, Rhett makes a predictable move. He posts on social media. Just learned that family means nothing when money's involved. Some people forget where they came from. His friends flood the comments with support. Stay strong, bro, and blood is thicker than water. They have no idea what they're supporting. Then someone, I later find out it's Marin using a burner account, comments. Is this about the $200,000 your parents gave you while your sister got nothing? Or about how you never visited your dying grandmother while she cared for her alone? The comment explodes. Cousins I haven't spoken to in years start commenting. Old family friends. Even neighbors who knew Grandma Posey. Wait, Celeste put herself through college? I remember her at the hospital with her grandma every weekend. Rhett never even sent flowers when she died. The narrative Rhett tried to build collapses in real time. His comment section becomes a trial, and he's losing badly. He deletes the post within an hour, but screenshots are everywhere. Family group chats are blowing up. Aunt Shira forwards me some of the messages, relatives taking sides, most of them mine. Mom calls, furious. Are you behind this? No, I say honestly, but I'm not stopping it either. The truth doesn't need my permission to exist. I hang up. For once, I'm not the one explaining myself. They are. Aunt Shira asks to meet for lunch, just the two of us. I'm wary. Family meetings haven't gone well lately, but something in her voice sounds genuine. We meet at a quiet cafe, and she doesn't waste time. I should have said something years ago. I watched your mother favor Rhett, and I told myself it wasn't my place. I'm sorry, Celeste. I failed you too. Her honesty disarms me. You couldn't have changed them. Maybe not. But I could have been there for you. She stirs her coffee, gathering courage. Your grandmother confided in me before she passed. She told me about the trust, about the letters. She asked me to look out for you if things got ugly. Shira slides an envelope across the table. She left this with me. Said to give it to you when the dust settles. My hands tremble as I open it. Grandma's handwriting, shaky but clear. My darling Celeste, if you're reading this, you've stood your ground. I'm so proud of you. Use this gift to build a life full of people who see you. And remember, you don't owe anyone access to your peace. Not even family. Especially not family who never earned it. You were always enough. I just made sure you'd have the resources to prove it to yourself. Love always, Grandma Posey. I cry right there in the cafe, and Shira holds my hand while I do. Some families show up late, but they still show up. 2 weeks after everything exploded, there's a knock at my apartment door. I check the peephole, and my stomach sinks.
Rhett.
I open the door but leave the chain on. What do you want? He looks terrible. Unshaven. Dark circles under his eyes. Wrinkled clothes. Celeste, please. I'm about to lose my apartment. I need help. Every instinct screams at me to slam the door. But I stay, watching him through that 4-inch gap. You've had help your entire life. I say evenly. What did you do with it? I know. He runs his hands through his hair. But I don't know what else to do. I'm drowning here. Then learn to swim. Don't you have any compassion? His voice cracks. I have plenty of compassion. What I don't have is the obligation to fix your life. Mom and Dad did that for 30 years. Look where it got you. He tries charm, then guilt, then finally something resembling honesty. I don't know how to take care of myself. They always fixed everything. I never had to learn. It's the first real thing he's ever said to me. I feel a flicker of sympathy, but I don't unlock the chain. Then it's time you learned. I can give you a number for a financial counselor, but I'm not giving you money.
His face twists.
You really hate me that much? I don't hate you, Rhett. I just don't owe you anything. I close the door. A month passes. I hear through Aunt Shira that my parents are struggling, not financially, but socially. Extended family has distanced themselves. Friends have stopped calling. Even their church community has backed away after the story spread. I feel exhausted, not victorious. Then Dad shows up at my apartment. Alone. No ambush. No mom lurking in the car. Can we talk? He asks quietly. I let him in, every muscle tense. He sits on my couch, and he looks older than I remember.
Smaller somehow.
I read your grandmother's letter every day, he admits. I keep it in my wallet. She was right about everything. I was a coward. I wait, saying nothing. I watched your mother favor Rhett, and I told myself it wasn't my place to interfere. That you were strong enough to handle it. But you were my daughter. My little girl. It was my job to protect you, and I didn't. His voice breaks. I'm so sorry, Celeste. I'm so goddamn sorry. It's the first real apology I've ever received from him. Not a deflection. Not an excuse. Just raw remorse. I don't forgive him immediately. I can't. But I don't throw him out either. Apologies are start, I say carefully. But I need to see change. Real change. Not just words. He nods, wiping his eyes. I know. I'm in therapy now. Trying to understand how I let this happen. Good, I say. Keep going. It's not reconciliation, but it's a beginning. Mom takes much longer. 2 months after graduation, she finally asks to meet, through Aunt Shira, like she needs a mediator to approach her own daughter. We meet at a neutral cafe. I almost don't recognize her. She looks diminished, exhausted, like she's aged 5 years in 2 months. I don't know how to fix this, she says, and for once, there's no manipulation in her voice. Just defeat. I sip my coffee and wait. I think I saw Rhett as an extension of myself, she continues slowly. His success felt like my success. And you were always so independent, so capable. I told myself you didn't need me. My laugh is bitter. I needed you every single day. You just never looked. She flinches, but doesn't argue. I know. Your grandmother's letter made that very clear. What did it say? I ask, even though Shira already told me. Mom's hands shake around her cup. That she was ashamed of me. That I was repeating my own mother's mistakes. She favored my brother too. Grandma Posey wrote that instead of breaking the cycle, I made it worse. She said she couldn't stand to watch me erase my own daughter. We sit in silence. I don't know if I can ever make it up to you, Mom finally whispers. I don't need you to make it up to me, I say. I need you to stop expecting me to carry this relationship alone. I need you to do the work. It's not forgiveness, but it's honest. I use part of the inheritance to fund my dream, a nonprofit supporting first-generation college students who lack family support. I name it the Posey Foundation after Grandma. The launch event is small but meaningful. Local media covers it, and I share my story, carefully, without naming my family but honestly about what it feels like to succeed alone. The response is overwhelming. Dozens of young people reach out with their own stories. The girl whose parents only celebrated her brother's mediocre football career, not her perfect GPA. The boy whose family mocked his scholarship to art school. The student whose parents threatened to disown them for choosing their own path. I'm not alone in this experience. None of us are. Marin becomes my co-director. Aunt Shira attends the launch, beaming with pride. And in the back, standing quietly, is Dad. When our eyes meet, he nods, a small gesture of respect. Mom and Rhett aren't there. I notice their absence, but I don't feel it as loss anymore. I feel relief. Standing at the podium, I say, this foundation is for everyone who's ever been invisible in their own family. You are seen. You are valued. And your success belongs to you alone. The applause is thunderous. For the first time in my life, I feel truly celebrated. Not for being easy or convenient or compliant. For being myself. 6 months after graduation, I get an unexpected email from Rhett. No demands, no anger. Just, I started seeing a therapist. Thought you should know.
I don't respond.
I'm not ready, and I don't trust it. But weeks later, another email arrives with a LinkedIn link. He's enrolled in a professional certification program and working part-time at a hardware store. No fanfare, no requests for praise. Just an update. I'm skeptical, but something in me softens slightly. When he asks to meet for coffee, public place, no pressure, I agree. Marin comes with me, sitting at a nearby table as backup. Rhett looks different. Humbler. The entitled smirk is gone. I'm not asking for forgiveness, he says immediately. I just wanted you to know I'm trying to figure out who I am without everyone fixing my problems. I study him, searching for the manipulation. I don't find it. My therapist helped me understand that I was angry at you for being everything I wasn't.
Disciplined. Smart.
Independent. It was easier to play the screw-up than to compete with that. I was never competing with you, I say quietly. I was just trying to survive. I know that now.
He stares at his coffee.
I'm sorry. For all of it. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know I see it now. It's not a relationship yet, but it's a foundation. And maybe that's enough for now. Harrison contacts me with one final surprise, a safe deposit box Grandma left, accessible only after the first year of the trust. Inside, I find letters. Dozens of them, written over 3 years, each one addressed to me. Dated.
Sealed.
Open these when you need reminding, the first envelope says. I read them chronologically, sitting on my apartment floor, and it's like having her back for a few hours. She writes about watching me struggle, about her frustration with my parents, about her pride in my resilience. One letter, dated a week before she died, reads, Celeste, by now you've faced your family. I'm proud of you, no matter what you chose. But remember, forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of their failures. You deserved better, but you became better anyway. That's the real inheritance. I'm crying and laughing at the same time. The final envelope contains something else, a photo of me at 8 years old, holding her hand at a science fair. My project, a model solar system, won first place, but my parents couldn't come.
Grandma did.
On the back, in her handwriting, you've always been extraordinary. I just made sure the world would know it too. I frame the photo and hang it in my office. She saw me when no one else would. And she made sure I'd never be invisible again. Aunt Shira mentions, almost casually, that Mom's been in therapy for 3 months. I don't know what to do with that information. A few weeks later, Mom reaches out directly, asking if we can meet again. I'm hesitant, but something in her message feels different. At the cafe, she's more composed than last time. My therapist helped me understand that I was repeating patterns from my own childhood, she says. I was the overlooked daughter too. My mother favored my brother constantly, and instead of breaking that cycle, I created a golden child to live through. It's not an excuse, but it's context. I'm not asking you to forgive me today or even this year, Mom continues. I just wanted you to know I'm working on understanding why I hurt you, and I'm trying to change. Really change. For the first time, I see her not as a villain, but as a deeply flawed person capable of growth. I appreciate that, I say carefully. But my boundaries stay. I'll meet you where you are, but I won't go backwards. I won't make myself smaller to make you comfortable. She nods, tears streaming down her face. That's more than I deserve. Maybe, I say. But it's what I can offer right now. She reaches across the table, and after a moment, I let her hold my hand. It's not healed, but it's healing. And that's progress. The Posey Foundation announces its first scholarship recipients, 10 students, each receiving full funding for their final year of college, plus mentorship and career support. At the ceremony, I share my story publicly for the first time. Not with bitterness, but with purpose. I was invisible in my own family, I say to the room full of students, donors, and supporters. But my grandmother saw everything. She taught me that being seen isn't about being the loudest or the most charming. It's about being authentic and resilient. The audience includes Dad, Aunt Shira, and, surprisingly, Mom, sitting in the back row, crying quietly. Rhett isn't here, but he sends a text during the ceremony. Watching the live stream. You're incredible. I mean it. After the speeches, Mom approaches, trembling. I'm so proud of you, she whispers. I don't rush into her arms, but I don't pull away either. Thank you. It's not the relationship I once dreamed of. The mom who cheers from the front row, who brags about me to her friends, who always saw my value. But it's honest. And honest, I've learned, is more valuable than perfect. The foundation's success isn't just my triumph. It's proof that pain, when transformed with intention, can heal others. Grandma gave me the resources, but I'm the one who chose to build something meaningful. That choice is mine, and it always will be. I get a message from someone unexpected. Aunt Dinah, my dad's younger sister who lives in Oregon. I've met her maybe 3 times in my life. I heard about the foundation. I also heard what your mother did. I want to help. We schedule a video call, and she's immediately warm and direct. I experienced the same thing growing up, she says. Your dad was the golden child in our family. I was the invisible one. Your grandmother, your dad's mom, tried to balance it, but my parents didn't listen. What did you do? I ask. I left. Built my own life across the country. Established boundaries that actually protected me. She leans closer to the camera. Your grandmother Posey called me before she died. She told me about the trust, and she asked me to reach out after things settled. She wanted you to know that leaving isn't failure. It's survival. Dinah offers to fund an expansion of the foundation and connects me with her network of donors and professionals. Over the next months, we talk regularly. She becomes a mentor, a friend, an example of what chosen family looks like. Blood doesn't obligate you to accept mistreatment, she tells me firmly. But it also doesn't disqualify people from earning their way back, if they do the work. This perspective shifts something in me. Family can be complicated. Relationships can evolve. And sometimes the people who save you aren't the ones who raised you. A year after graduation, Rhett completes his certification program and lands a stable job as an HVAC technician. Nothing flashy, but honest work with good benefits. He reaches out asking for dinner. No agenda, he promises. I just want to talk. At the restaurant, he's different. Quieter. More thoughtful. I've been in therapy for almost a year now, he says. I'm starting to understand how much I took from you. Not just money, your space, your recognition, your peace of mind. He doesn't ask for forgiveness, just understanding. I was angry at you for being everything I wasn't, he admits. It was easier to be the screw-up than to actually try and risk failing. Mom and Dad enabled that. Hell, they encouraged it. That's not my fault, I say firmly. I know. That's what I'm learning, that my choices are mine. But I also need you to know that I see it now. What Grandma saw. What everyone should have seen from the beginning. I appreciate his honesty, but I'm still cautious. I'm glad you're doing the work, Rhett. I really am. But I'm not responsible for your growth. And I can't give you absolution. I'm not asking for that. I just wanted you to know I'm trying to become someone worth knowing. It's not a full reconciliation. We're not going to be close, probably not for years, maybe never. But it's a bridge. And sometimes bridges are enough. 2 years after graduation, I visit Grandma Posey's grave on what would have been her 80th birthday. I bring white roses, her favorite, and a printed report of the foundation's impact. 50 students funded, hundreds mentored, partnerships with 5 universities. We did it, Grandma. I whisper, kneeling by her headstone. You gave me more than money. You gave me permission to demand better. My phone rings. It's Mom. I'm at the cemetery too, she says quietly. Different section, visiting my mother. Can I come see you? I hesitate, then agree. She walks over slowly, carrying her own flowers. We stand together by Grandma's grave in silence. Then Mom speaks. She knew I was failing you. And instead of confronting me directly, she made sure you'd be okay without me. That's the part one can't forgive myself for. Maybe that's the work, I say, looking at her. Living with what you did and choosing differently every day going forward. We place our flowers together, 2 women bound by loss, by failure, by the slow, painful work of healing. I'll never be the mother you deserved at the beginning, Mom says, her voice breaking. But I'm trying to be someone you can respect now. I know, I say, and I mean it. It's not perfect. It never will be, but it's real. And that counts for something. 3 years after that graduation day, I'm invited to speak at my university's commencement ceremony. I stand at the same venue where I was overlooked, addressing thousands of graduates and their families. 3 years ago, I stood where you're standing. I begin. And I felt invisible. The crowd quiets. But someone saw me, my grandmother. She didn't just tell me I mattered. She gave me the resources to prove it to myself. I talk about the foundation, about boundaries, about the difference between family by blood and family by choice. If your family doesn't celebrate you today, celebrate yourself. And find people who will stand in the gap until your family learns how, or until you build a new family altogether. In the audience, Mom sits beside Dad, both crying. Red is there too, sober and steady, applauding genuinely. Aunt Shira and Aunt Dinah sit together, beaming with pride. Marin, now the Foundation's COO, records everything. The standing ovation lasts several minutes. Afterward, Mom approaches carefully. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you that day. 3 years ago. I look at her, really look at her. She's trying. Imperfectly, but genuinely. You're here now, I say. That matters. It's not absolution. It's acknowledgement. And sometimes that's the best we can do. For now, it's enough. 5 years after graduation, I sit in the Foundation's expanded headquarters, overlooking the city skyline. The Posey Foundation now operates in 12 states, has funded over 300 students, and I've been invited to testify before Congress about educational equity. My family relationships are complex but healthier. Mom attends therapy regularly and actually listens now. Dad volunteers at the Foundation every week. Rhett just celebrated 2 years at his job and recently got promoted to supervisor. We'll never be a perfect family, but we're honest now. And that's something. On the anniversary of Grandma's death, I write a letter, not to her, but to my younger self. To that girl standing on the graduation stage with empty arms and a broken heart. You will survive this moment. More than survive, you'll transform it. The pain you feel today will become your purpose. The people who overlooked you will have to reckon with their choices, and you'll be strong enough to let them try or to walk away. Either way, you win. Because you'll build a life so full of meaning, surrounded by people who actually see you, that their rejection becomes irrelevant. Grandma gave you resources, but you gave yourself freedom. You are seen. You are valued. And you are enough. You always were. Love your future self. I seal it in my desk drawer, next to Grandma's photo. I'm finally fully free. And that's the real inheritance.